Hey, today we're going to look at Premiere Pro CC by Adobe. This is the preferred video editor for Rockdale Career Academy Video Productions. It's what we're all going to use no matter whose lab you're in. It's a pretty cool program. It's the industry standard. It allows you to do a lot of really cool stuff. So let's get started. First off, what you have here is the main welcome window. You have a couple of things you can do here. You can create a new project, which we're going to do in just a moment, or you can open a recent project. Over here you have Learn, so if you want to do tutorials or get any of that stuff, you certainly can. But I'm a tutorial, so let's do it. Create new. We're going to create a new project. Unlike any other program you've ever used in the past, Premiere Pro requires you to save before you get started. It allows you to put some stuff in there that helps it run a little faster. It creates a place where you can just hit Control S, which is your friend. Control S is the shortcut keys for save. So I'm going to name this Intro to Premiere Pro. Now we're creating a project, and what a project is it's essentially a book. If your film is a book, your project is the entirety of that book. And then inside a book you have chapters, inside a project you have sequences. So we're creating the project, we've named it, and you want to tell it where to save. So I'm going to save this in my video lessons folder. I'm going to hit select and then click OK. So it opens up like this. You have four main window areas. You have your program window. Anything that is in this window is going to be saved to your final video. If it's not in this window, not going to be in your final video. Timeline, pretty self-explanatory there. We'll do a lot with the timeline in just a moment. Over here are your source clips, your effect controls, your audio mixer, and then metadata if you're into that kind of stuff. And then down here is your project window, media browser, info, effects, markers, all that stuff. So we're going to keep it as project window because that is where all of your pieces to the movie will be stored. So first things first, I'm going to create a sequence because in here you see timeline, no sequences. Again, sequences are like the chapters of your book. So File, New, Sequence. You have all of these options, and you could create a movie in all of these options. The only one that I care about right now is HDV 720p30. That's high definition. It's 30 frames per second. It's going to look good, and it's going to work for what we need. So I'm going to name this Intro Video Lesson 1 and click OK. Notice a couple of things. One, it put the sequence here in my project window. Two, it activated my timeline and actually put some time in there and some other stuff that wasn't there before. You could, if you wanted, go to media browser, browse for your footage, that kind of stuff. Totally fine. But the easy way to do it, double click import. I downloaded this into my downloads folder, and I'm going to open this video. I got it off YouTube. You could probably go find something very similar. That's the great thing about YouTube right now, is that there's just a ton of footage out there, and I used freestyle motocross stuff because it's easy to do, it's fun to do, and it was there. So I'm going to click my footage and drag it into Premiere Pro. I'm going to keep my sequence settings the way that I want. So now you can scroll across using your playhead, which is this yellow bar, and your CTI, which is your current time indicator, that red line, and scroll across to that. Now I am going to mute the audio so that you can hear me, not everything else. So scroll across, you can see that. You can see that this video, oh, wrong direction, is about 5 minutes long. We're going to cut it down via editing to 1 minute and 11 seconds or so. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and you're going to practice cutting very specific stuff, because in editing you want to cut to very specific stuff. And what we're going to cut today is just motorcycles in the air. Now if you look at the keyboard you're using, you have the C and V button. If you take your ring finger and your middle finger and you put those on those two buttons, your thumb goes straight to the space bar. It's kind of a natural thing. Those are the buttons you need to edit in Premiere Pro. C is for cut, V is for select, and spacebar is to start and stop play. So I've got it here to where he's almost going off the ramp. I've done this enough times at this point to know that this is the first jump. And I'm going to use my arrows to nudge forward one frame at a time. and now he is off the ramp. I'm going to hit C. Now notice what happens to my cursor. Right now it's in a select mode, so it's the arrow. When I hit C, it turns into a razor blade. You see the little line there associated with that razor blade? That's where it will cut. If I cut down here, I have no idea what I just cut because I can't see it because my current time indicator is down here. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo and hover over that red line and cut right there. Now, I'm going to switch back to the select mode by hitting V. Click on the piece over here that I want to get rid of and hit delete on my keyboard. You could right click and go up and do all that, but you have two hands, why not use them both? Now, you have this dead space here. You want to get rid of that dead space just because it's black screen that serves no purpose. So you come over here, and if you left click and then right click, it'll bring down ripple delete. What ripple delete does is it gets rid of all the space between the elements. So there we go, ripple deleted. Now that's the first of the video. I'm going to nudge through because I know this is a short jump sequence. Go to the next. I'm going to hit C. Ooh, kind of hard to see that, right? If we click down here and zoom in, I can get all the way down to the frame. So I'm going to hit C, then V, and nudge forward a little bit till he leaves the ramp, and there's the first frame. Cut. Now I'm going to select this middle piece, hit delete on the keyboard, or end after it, and then I hit delete, so I got rid of that, and then I'm going to right click, ripple delete, and I'm going to play through by hitting the space bar, and then he lands. I'm going to assume he lands, well, right there, so looks good. So that's the first scene of the next time a bike's on the ground. So I'm just going to play through and then nudge. That's the first time the bike's off. Cut, ripple delete, and continue doing this throughout. So C is for cut, V is for select. Your arrow keys, right and left, nudge one frame at a time. Up and down will go from clip to clip. So if I go up, it's going to go back in time to the next, to the previous edit, or down, it goes back to the following. So there we go. And again, oh, now we got a motorcycle on the ground. So let's cut that. I'm going to play it through. He was hauling on that one. So we're going to do this all the way through. Pretty simple stuff. C is for cut, V is for select. To get rid of a space between two elements, right click and then ripple delete. Control S is your friend. If you see this star up here, your project is not saved. Hit Control S. Takes a couple seconds, gives you a moment of peace and clarity to know that your stuff is saved. That's all I got for this one. So remember, your program window right here is where everything happens. Your timeline is where you make all your edits and you can see time. Your project window is right here where you keep all of your different elements. So thank you for watching and have a great day.